Tensions have never been higher between the United States and China, and this is why the United States is on high alert. China continues to threaten the U.S. in multiple different ways, and because of us helping and assisting other countries. I will get to more on that in just a moment, but you need to understand the consequences of a war between China and the United States. And even if it's not a war, just increased tensions could increase the sanctions on both countries. If this happens, the prices on U.S. goods are likely to go up. So, I will address all that in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So China continues to threaten the United States. But according to China, it is because the United States is threatening China. And this is not on purpose. This is a secondary feature. But I want to show you a few articles. Look at this one right here from Reuters. It says China's military lashes out at U.S. after breakthrough talks. Now I want to go through a little bit of this article and explain what is going on. First, it says China's defense ministry lashed out at the United States on Thursday, a week after their top military officials resumed high-level talks, criticizing its continuing meddling in the Asia-Pacific region and saying it maintained a Cold War mindset. Both sides have pledged at the talks to work towards restoration of contacts to avert miscalculation and misunderstanding. I want to stop there for just a moment. One of the things that we have heard for the past year is we need to prevent a miscalculation by either party. And this is not just the United States and China. This is the United States, China, Russia, Ukraine, Iran, Israel, the list goes on and on. But with China and the United States both vowing to avert miscalculation and misunderstanding, this is major. Okay, this is very important. And the reason I bring this up is because experts anticipate if the United States and China were to get close to a war or see increased tensions, it will be due to either a miscalculation or a misunderstanding. Now let's keep reading. It says, this is from a spokesperson from China, China's defense ministry, says the United States continues to strengthen its Asia-Pacific deployments. This is full of a Cold War mindset. Goes on to say, its goal is for its own selfish gains and to maintain its hegemony. Its nature is to stoke confrontation. So China's defense ministry spokesperson is telling us that the United States' nature is to stoke confrontation. Well, the United States doesn't take kindly to that. Now, I want to read you one other thing. Right here, okay, I want to read you this. This is from the same person. He says, we firmly oppose any country having official and military contact with Taiwan in any form. The U.S. is manipulating the Taiwan question in various forms, which is a very dangerous gamble. We urge the U.S. to stop arming Taiwan under any excuses or by any means. Now, the issue that we're having right now is that China and President Xi Jinping told President Biden at a conference, at a summit about a month ago in San Francisco, told President Biden that China will reunify Taiwan with mainland China at some point. We do not know when, but that was what he promised. Okay, well, the United States has been backing Taiwan. We give them munitions, we give them weapons, we give them money, whatever they need. We give it to them. Taiwan is a very important piece to the United States. And if we lose Taiwan, prices on U.S. goods are going to go up. Okay? Just understand that. But this is one of the reasons why China is so concerned about this, because if the United States tries to be all buddy-buddy with Taiwan, Taiwan is just right off the the coast of China. It's very close. Now I want to read you this as well. It says China urges regional alert as U.S. military steps up forward deployment. Okay? It says China's defense ministry on Thursday urged the Asia Pacific to be on high alert as the United States steps up forward military deployment in the region after reports of a U.S. plan to revive a Pacific airfield that launched atomic bombings in Japan. So, China, again, is extremely worried. The United States, and this is why they want to avert any miscalculation or misinformation, it's simple. We need to make sure, or misunderstanding, but we need to make sure that the United States knows what China is doing, China knows what the United States is doing, and we have to tell them our intentions. Okay? If not, and we are hoping that they just understand, and they don't, and there's a misunderstanding, like potentially there is now, well, guess what? This could turn into a war. Okay? This is why China's telling everybody to be on high alert. The U.S. is telling people to be on high alert because they are expecting at some point something is going to happen. We don't know what, but something will happen. According to experts the other day, they're saying 2024 is going to experience a black swan event where we really don't know what's going to happen. We don't have any, anything telling us that, hey, there's going to be an attack. Okay? So, we just need to be aware of that. Now, all that has to do with China, the United States, and Taiwan. Mainly Taiwan. But there's another country that can also pull the United States and China into a war. Okay? And is increasing tensions. Look at this. It says China says it won't turn a blind eye to Philippines' repeated provocations. Now, what is the Philippines doing? And why is China saying they're not going to turn a blind eye and pretty much threatening the Philippines? Well, guess what? The United States and President Biden have already stated that if China were to attack the Philippines, if China were to try to invade the Philippines, which China doesn't really want to, but if they were, the U.S. would step in. The U.S. would get involved, and they would protect the Philippines. They would protect Taiwan. The United States has told China that you need to back off, or else you will be escalating our conflicts into a potential war. Well, this is what China had to say. And again, keep in mind, this is all just from today. Okay? When it says China on Thursday said it will not turn a blind eye to repeated provocation and harassment by the Philippines amid heightened tensions over a spate of run-ins in the South China Sea. Says Manila earlier this month accused the Chinese Coast Guard of maritime militia of repeatedly firing water cannons at its resupply boats, causing serious engine damage to one and deliberately ramming another. Now, China says this is purely false hype, that they really didn't do this. But again, we don't know. All I can tell you right now is that many countries are on high alert. And it's because of all these, what some are saying is simply a miscalculation or misunderstanding. Okay? That's what we're hearing. And if you remember when Russia and Ukraine, right before Russia decided to invade Ukraine, Russia lined the border of Ukraine. The Russia-Ukraine border. They lined it with military equipment in certain parts. And they said they were just conducting military tests, tactical trainings. That's what they were doing. But Ukraine didn't believe it. The United States didn't believe it. There was so much military equipment, they knew they were attempting to invade Ukraine. But some were saying that if this was true, and this was just a military exercise, this could have been a complete misunderstanding where Ukraine attacked Russia first because they misunderstood what was happening and they thought they were going to be invaded. Now, ultimately, they were invaded. It wasn't a misunderstanding or miscalculation. They knew exactly what was coming. But in the event that that was not the case and Ukraine would have attacked Russia first, this would have escalated the situation beyond what it would have been. Now we know, obviously, what happened. So that's what both sides, the Chinese government and the United States government, want to avoid. Any miscalculation or misunderstanding, make sure both parties understand what the other party is doing. But the hard part is the Chinese government continues to threaten the United States because of us having allies in their area. So we will see what happens moving forward. But here's what I can tell you. If China and the United States see increased tensions or are on the verge of a war, our relationship is going to be in trouble. Both countries are going to sanction one another. And when we do, the United States is definitely going to pay the price for this. We are going to see prices on all goods go up. Because if we can't get certain products from China into the United States due to sanctions, well, those products are going to have to be made elsewhere. And if those products are made elsewhere, chances are they're going to be more expensive. And if they are more expensive or we see a supply chain disruption, guess what? Prices go up. This is concerning. This is not what the American people need. It's also not what President Biden needs. Right now, President Biden and Democrats continue to tout Bidenomics, saying that prices have gone down, unemployment is pretty much at the lowest it has been, inflation down to 3.1%. All these things are great. The economy is in perfect shape. Well, the economy is looking better. We are seeing inflation come down. Unemployment is still very low. That's good. We are seeing people getting back to work. We're not. There's a good chance we don't end up in a recession. So the stock market is, doing well. So everything's going fine. But here's the issue: the lower income households are still struggling. Some haven't got their jobs back. Some are not making the kind of money that they need to make to pay for their bills because of all the inflation that we've seen over the past 3 years. Also, President Biden's economy is still tough to live in because, again, our income compared to inflation is not there. Inflation has surpassed our income. So even though inflation is coming down, it is still higher than what it was in the pre-pandemic levels. Okay? One thing I can tell you is that a lot of people still say that they are doing well if they are owning a home. If they're able to contribute to a retirement plan, put money into savings, pay off debt. And right now, millions and millions of people cannot do that. So the one struggle here is if China and the United States do see increased tensions, the prices for almost all goods are going to go up. If we do end up in a war or there's more controversy over in the Red Sea where oil isn't being moved around as easy and as freely, guess what? Oil prices are going to go up, which means gas prices will go up, which means heating costs will go up. So right now we're on the verge of prices going back up, which would actually hurt President Biden and Democrats. So we will see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is I will be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is two things. First, hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed today's update. Also, click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. And I will see you guys on the next one.